I'm Marilyn Priel with The Better Part. There are quite a few national organizations that serve persons of military involvement. The American Legion is one of the oldest. Stay tuned to hear more about it.
Welcome to The Better Part, a program that encompasses a diverse spectrum of topics important to our community, which we hope will both inform and entertain you. We invite you to sit back and enjoy the program.
My guests are from the Redwood City Post of the American Legion. Please meet Commander Romy Bassetto and Adjutant William Jackson Jr. Thank you both for coming.
Thanks for
I know
having us.
you're really busy with all your volunteer work over there. I've had you both on before. You were on, William, with your dad, talking about his military service during World War II. And you were on, Romy. We had a program about post-traumatic stress disorder, which kind of got you into the American Legion, I
Right.
believe. So tell us what is the American Legion?
Well, American Legion was an organization formed in, believe it or not, Paris, France. It was formed in 1919, and it was an organization to provide for services and provide for family and the veterans and homecoming veterans, and also the active duty servicemen. So it was a combination of everyone in the service community.
Why was it in France?
They started it originally after World War I for the reason they wanted to start a organization to support the troops, and they started it overseas. The idea was originated in Paris, France, after the First World War, and that's how it started.
By our troops
Exactly.
who were stuck
Yeah.
over there and couldn't get
Right.
home.
Exactly. It was a place for them to go and to air their problems or what have you, as far as a veteran or serviceman or soldier. And then remember, in 1919, after the First World War, these were all active duty servicemen. So the question comes up about, is it primary for veterans? And no, it's an organization both for veterans and for active duty service personnel. So.
Yeah, I was reading something about then a lot of the vets, then when they came back to the U.S., they were displaced. They didn't have jobs anymore, and the families were kind of messed up and so forth. So I think Teddy Roosevelt Jr. then kind of got it started here in the U.S.
Absolutely, and then when it came back, it's in the veterans organizations, it's the only organization that was chartered by the U.S. Congress. So when they say it takes an act of Congress to change something around here, that's exactly right in our organization. It has to come from Congress to change our organization. And interesting footnote, our post 105 is going on. The organization is 93 years old, and we're going on 93 years. We were formed in 1919. And matter of fact, we just had a birthday yesterday.
You did.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a nice addition.
Yeah.
So you started up out here right after it began then.
Yeah.
And how many posts would there be? I mean, does every large city have a post, or do small towns have posts as well?
Yeah. What would you say, Bill? There's what? How many?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't remember, but every city has a post. Every state has a post. Really, we're post 105, so I think 105 was the number of the posts at the time. That's how we got the number in California.
Oh,
105th post at that time formed 1919. But I think nationally internationally and nationally, there's over 14,000 posts.
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And membership is, even with the situation today, was at its peak during the end of the Second World War in Korea. But even now, it's like 3 million people, 3 million veterans. So it's a pretty good size. Well, it's the largest veteran organization.
So you're helping active duty people as well as veterans, or So you're doing things for the active duty people
Yeah.
as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where, by the way, where are is the national headquarters?
It's in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about some of the services that, I know it's all volunteer, everybody who serves in there, and probably in headquarters, maybe there are some paid nothing
No.
ever.
The
It's
national
all
commander
volunteer.
doesn't get paid.
And how many hours are you two putting in per month, say?
I put in about 92 hours a month, and the Commander Basetto puts in much more than that.
So I figure I'm good for about 35 to 60 hours a week. It depends
My
on the
goodness.
demand and what's happening. But you know, you were talking about what we do for the group and organization. We had one example is we support the families, not only the veterans. And we had a situation where a returnee soldier lost his life, and we provided all the facilities and services for the memorial and what have you.
To
And,
help out the family. and
Yeah,
so
as a
forth.
matter of fact, the family never even heard of the American Legion until we came along to assist in the memorial and what have you for that
Okay.
fallen soldier. So they found out that we're a true family, and we're there to support
To serve
times
the
and needs.
families.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We were at a convention down south, and I believe we were sitting in a car in a parking lot getting ready to go to one of the convention meetings, and the commander got a call regarding a death in the family, and through negotiating stuff and asking and answering the questions in the car, we were able to get the information. And then when we came back from the convention, we were able to help that family as far as the burial services for their family. And that's just to piggyback off what Commander was saying a minute ago.
I see. What is the Operation Comfort Warriors?
It provides wounded warriors with various services, and what we do is we sponsor the local San Mateo County Blue Star Moms, and their job is to do exactly that. What they do is they take care of supplying sundry packs for active duty service people, wounded soldiers, and what have you. So we provide the spaces and the areas for them to fulfill the needs of the various soldiers that, you know, not only it's the ones that we do the memorial service and what have, it's the living ones, obviously, and that we want to take care of also. So the guys that are coming back, we're the ones that are supplying a lot of services and things that the servicemen don't normally get through the direct government connections.
So you're giving troop support. then.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then I was trying to read up a little bit about it the other day, and I read about something about POWs and MIAs. Are you
Yeah.
involved in that as well?
Yeah, every time we have a meeting, there's a section of the meeting that's dedicated to POWs, MIAs, with the dedication that we're going to see the recovery of all remains and any soldiers that have not been accounted for. And so the American Legion's taken upon it that until the last soldier's accounted for, we're going to be there trying to defend and support those positions to get all of our soldiers back home.
That's part of the opening ceremony for the meeting.
Really? That's wonderful. And then what about the local recovering warriors?
We're pretty heavy in doing things for the...
Yes, we are. And one of the main things is letting them know what the resources are when they get out. A lot of the veterans that get out, they don't know about the resources that they have available to them. And so part of the job that we do is to let them know and let the families know what type of information they can see or get.
See. Yeah, you've got a veterans resource book. It's wonderful that you have that.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of times, if there's a death in the family and the family's looking for some kind of means of getting some type of service, and if it's a service that the American Legion doesn't do, with that book, we're able to direct them and guide them in the area they need to go to find any information that they can get or help them get it.
And then you had another one that talks about, you were telling me before we started the show that you got all kinds of books and pamphlets to help them. But this is disaster. So
Disaster, that's a disaster and emergency book regarding just the topic there. And what happens when you go to conventions, there's so many different programs. There's Boy State, there's Americanism, there's ham radio, and those are just a couple. And what happens is, in the event of a disaster, when you go, you learn and you find out different information that you can bring back and disseminate through your members of the post. If there's a catastrophe or something, and a post can be looked upon as a place where they can house maybe injured people or help the community out.
now, a lot of the vets come back, they need help with a job, maybe education, health issues. So what do you do for them in those instances?
We have anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year minimum what they call a stand down, and what they do is they go out with all the local vets and all that really don't have any knowledge of what's available to them, and they gather them and they bring them into one central place and tell them about the services that are available. And then not only that, they perform a lot of the services. If we have homeless vets and what have you, they'll have doctors and they'll have dentists and what have you available for these vets to participate in. So I've seen the evolution of the benefits for the vets today that I'm proud to say that there's a lot of the problems with the vets that we're trying to really make an effort to take care of these vets, and they're whatever their particular. There's a program for a vet if he's willing to say I need some help.
Any kind of program, almost
Any kind of program.
Like I was thinking, so many of the young volunteers, because they don't have a job or they don't have an education, and they join the military, and then they get out, and they're older, and they still don't have any training. So you help them with.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
There's several job training programs that are going on here locally, matter of fact. Not only that, I think within a week or two there's going to be another job fair for vets, and where local companies are giving the vets a little bit of step up coming back home to get themselves a job and what have you. And like I said, it's programs like yourself and what you folks are trying to do that are helping the vets get the word out to say, hey, look, come on down, go look at your local American Legion post and see what's available, see what kind of help they can give you. We're on call all the time to support a vet and give them a hand to whatever their specific needs are. So.
This program that you're doing is really great because a lot of people don't really understand the American Legion, or they have the bad idea of the image of Legionnaires, and that's what we're trying to correct. In addition to that, the younger vets that are coming home, they don't necessarily know what benefits they have available to us, to them. And that's what we try to do, is let them know what they have and maybe guide them in the direction they need to go. Otherwise, they would just come back and not really reintegrate into society.
I know that when you suffered with PTSD for many years, and then it was through the American Legion that you began to heal, and and that.
Another thing, I'm what they call a 100% service connected. Okay, and what that means is the health issues and what have you, I'm rated at 100%. And here's something that a lot of the veterans don't even realize because of that position, and there's a lot of vets who are in that position. My daughter is able to go to college, and they're going to cover the tuition and books for her because of my position, of my situation. So there's other benefits that extend to family and family members that a lot of vets aren't even aware of. And by participating in these kinds of programs, we're getting the word out and say, hey, take a time to go in and look and see what is available for you. So, yeah.
And then I know that you're trying to help the families, like I suppose when somebody's overseas and they've got a family at home, maybe their children might get into trouble, so you have activities for I think baseball and what was Boys Nation you were
Or Boys
talking
State.
about? Boys State.
Yeah, and then we have
You can tell them about Boys State.
Boys State is where each post selects boys locally from the various school districts, and we send them to Sacramento for a week, and they run the government for a week. And I was having lunch one afternoon, and I remember a young fellow, about 35 years old, he came up to my table, he saw the American Legion logo on my shirt or something, I don't know how he says, are you really connected with the American Legion? I said, yes, I am. And he says, well, I want to thank you. And I said, thank me? And he says, yeah. He says, I was a member of Boys State, and I feel that gave me the step up later on in life just because of my experience with that. So it made me feel good that the stuff that we're supporting is benefiting a lot of things. So we support not only the veterans, we've got American Legion Baseball, we support that heavily. We've got, like I said, the Blue Star Moms, that they take care of both guys here locally and overseas.
The Band of the West.
The Band of the West. We sponsor what they call a group of young musicians that they had a band. They started this band at the Post with about 12, 13 members. They're up to 30-something members in the band. People want to get into it. So there's other programs, not only just
Keeps
the
them off
vets.
the street, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
by far. And plus they learn. They learn and they feel
Yes.
proud. They learn a little bit about the history. And they practice at our post. And we've had a couple of ceremonies there, and they've been with us in a parade, the 4th of July parade in Redwood City. And they really, just the other night at the meeting, the band leader, Michael Toshak, he told us how proud they felt to work with us.
One lovely thing that you do that I happen to know about is you put the flags out at the cemetery. And tell us about that.
Yeah, that's an experience. What do you call it? Our post in particular, we supply the refreshments for the kids. And I don't know if you know what 3,000 donuts look like and 2,500 cups of hot chocolate look like. But anyway, we pull into the cemetery, and it's called a Good Turn Day. And they have approximately 3,000 Boy Scouts show up for that day. And we place a American flag in each grave up at the Golden Gate National Cemetery. And if you've never experienced it, it's something to see. And it's really amazing. And they tell the Boy Scouts when they go through and place the flags on the grave is to stop, take a moment to remember a veteran and what have you. And I'll tell you, sometimes you have to walk away when you listen to these kids and what their comments are at the grave sites and what have you. It's just
Really?
unbelievable. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. I talked to one family and they said that the grandfather was there, the father was there, and the kids were there. 3 generations have been doing it. So it's really amazing. That's one thing. And then the other thing we do a lot is we do a lot of work at the veterans hospitals down in Palo Alto and Menlo Park. We're going to just in the near future, we're going to be doing a barbecue for the guys down there and what have you.
Tell them how long it takes to put the flags down.
less than 4 hours. 138,000 flags.
138,000 flags.
Less than 4 hours.
What a sight to see.
Yeah, it is. It's just it really. I think the people that don't even have any patriotism can get it when they see what these young people are doing, and the fact that it's the youth doing it. It's just amazing to see the whole process and what's going on. You know, I don't know if we got time, but I want to tell you one quick story. At Menlo Park, we were down there serving hamburgers to the guys, and we had a barbecue, and they had a little car show for the guys, and they were doing the thing. And I saw this nurse running across the field, and boy, I says, you got to slow down, you got a trip or something. She goes, you guys have a barbecue going? I go, yeah, we're doing it right over there. Is there any chance I can get 2 hamburgers? I says, yeah, no problem. There was a veteran that was decided he wanted to end his life, and he was on a support system of feeding tubes and all that. And he smelled the hamburgers, and he said, can I get a couple of those hamburgers? Because he wasn't eating. So she went down and got the hamburgers and brought them back to the guy. And I thought, it was worth us setting up camp today just for that one guy. So it was amazing. Incidentally, we did 400 hamburgers that day. But anyway, yeah, isn't that something?
Oh,
I mean,
it
what a great story. And it was just, it did the whole team. I mean, the guys were all sailing afterwards. Bill, you remember that when
And we're going to be doing it again next month.
yeah.
Next month, and not only that, we barbecue for the veterans at the Lawn Care Home Facility twice a year, and then on the every third Wednesday of the month, I go down to the VA there and we do bingo for the veterans that are in wheelchairs, and in one room we have something like 18 wheelchairs in there playing bingo.
Yeah.
And it's really something to see, because it's all nationalities, men and women and everything, and you learn a little bit about their history.
So many people think of the American Legion, they just hear about it. Oh, there's a dance Saturday night at American Legion Hall. So they think it's more of a social club. And so that must be that you open up the building for fundraising. You have to raise money some way.
Right.
And I'm sure if you have bingo in your facilities, you're raising a little money that way. And then through opening it up for dances, I guess that's your money.
Absolutely.
It's not that you guys are just big dancers and partiers.
No.
And then there are auxiliaries. And what do they do now to help out?
Their main support is to support the veterans and the groups that are there. But beyond that, not only do they support the dinners and all that you're describing and our fundraisers, and then if we have something like we got a thing called the Early Bird Dinner where all the post members get a free dinner if they pay their dues by a certain time. So the auxiliary would be supporting that thing. But beyond that, they do support a lot of the activities in the hospitals and what have you, as far as supporting the wounded and the infirm fellas that are in the hospital. So the auxiliary is a big part of the American Legion. Just like they've got a new group that's not that old. I was there when they first got chartered. It's American Legion Riders, and it's a bunch of motorcycle enthusiast guys that have their motorcycles, and those are called chapters, and they tie up to a post, and so they have the guys on their motorcycles. So that's kind of new.
Say, for instance, if a veteran got killed or something in the service, I forgot what the name of them are, but then when they find out when the body is coming, say if it was coming here to Mountain View, they would meet the body at the plane and escort it to wherever it's going, and then if it's going to the cemetery or to the mortuary, and then they would pick it up and take it. If it's from the mortuary, they'd take it to the cemetery, and it's a big long line of motorcycle vets that are flying the flags and everything. And during the route, and some people know about the route, some people get out there and they cheer and they show respect for the wounded, the dead.
I think they were here, they were in Cupertino at Memorial Park when they brought in the Vietnam vet wall, the portable wall.
Yeah,
right.
It was
Patriot guards,
amazing.
right. I went over there.
Amazing.
I went over there and took pictures of it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I might have.
We saw each other, actually. Well, okay, now, you say that if somebody needs help, can they call anytime? Is there someone there at your post all the time, or what hours would they ordinarily be able to reach you?
I tell everybody, as far as the American Legion Post is concerned, in Railway City, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're always there. We're always a big group of volunteers, but my schedule is such I'm almost there every day. And when I do get a call, I'll return it back and hopefully try to direct them in the right place to go to get the information they need for whatever they're looking for.
We have a number in the post. The number is 650 365-1337.
Okay. And your post is in Redwood City
Right.
It's on El Camino.
It's on El
isn't it?
Camino. The address is 651 El Camino. And if anybody would like to join our post 105, they can contact us, and we welcome all vets. We'd love to
Okay.
have you join.
Now, and I presume there's one in San Jose and all the
Right.
Yes.
surrounding cities. So if they're not up in Redwood City, there is a place where they can go and look in the phone book, or
Yeah.
if they have a computer, look online and,
Absolutely.
and find one.
Yeah, you can go to callegion.org, and they'll give you a list of all the posts that are available in California.
I'd like for you both to tell me why you volunteer. We'll start with you, William.
That's interesting.
What we believe in as far as the vets are concerned, you know, we want to make sure that they are aware of the benefits and stuff that they have when they get out. You know, when we got out to service, that kind of information might have been available. We didn't know about it, and no one told us about it or told me about it. And after looking at some of the things that I could see where I could help in, I decided to join and see if I can do whatever I could.
The American Legion actually came to my aid when I thought there was nobody to help, and I just feel that paying back to the community and my fellow vets is what I have to do, and I have been doing it all these years, you know. And it's like I get satisfaction when I see something positive happening for an individual, a family member, or what have you. And you know, I've worked with spouses and of deceased veterans and what have you, where they were exasperated on the fact if there's any benefits or what have you for me. I've found the benefits for them, and it's so exhilarating. I don't financially gain anything out of it, but it's just the idea that I'm helping out the widow or what have you, that to get what they're legally entitled to, and I think that that's great.
You know, and one other thing is now the veteran is being much more respected than it was when the commander and I got out to
Right.
service.
Right. Well, thank you both for what you're doing, and thank you for coming and telling us more about the
Well, thank you for
American
having
Legion.
us.
And thank you for supporting vet causes. We really appreciate that. We know you've been big in the community doing that, and for that we really thank you.
And thank you all for coming. We hope that you learned a lot about the American Legion and can be inspired and maybe help out once in a while. We love having you every time you come, and please come back again. Bye for now.